fight fans, here we go. SparStar Promotions is proud to present 3 rounds of professional mixed martial arts in the featherweight division. This bout is sponsored in part by Dre Talks Podcast. Once again, our referee in charge of this bout, Chris Lieben. And now, introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, he is wearing black trunks. He is hailing out of Bangalore, India, by way of Los Angeles. He weighed in 140 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Satish Gowda! His opponent across the cage on my left, fighting out of the red corner. He is wearing orange trunks trimmed in red. He is training out of Aguirre's Fighting Systems in Fontana by way of Ontario. He weighed in 140 pounds. Tonight, he is making his professional debut. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Danny Martinez! Once again, our referee in charge, Chris Lieben, to give final instructions.
All right, gentlemen, bring it into the center. Bring it into the center, guys. Okay, listen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. If you want to touch gloves, touch them now.
Daniel Martinez versus Sukshith Satish. I beg your pardon if I have butchered that name.
Satish definitely coming into Danny's backyard. No glove touch. Satish has a little bit of advantage already fighting 5-round fights, whereas Danny is coming into this, so very interested to see how long this fight goes. Shooting up a triangle.
What a nice punch.
Yeah,
What
Satish
a
did a great
recovery.
job. Well, sometimes you dive in because you're like, oh, I've got him rocked, and all of a sudden you're in a triangle choke.
All right, you gotta be careful.
Now, Danny uses it to get up. So Satish definitely has power in his hands.
Right.
And sometimes it's the punch that you don't expect that ends up landing. That definitely puts you out. So you got to be careful. You see Danny respecting his power, but still coming forward.
Definitely still pushing the pace.
Nice body lock.
I don't know if Satish should take it to the ground. I mean, the last time he went to the ground, he got put in the triangle. You see Danny trying to set it up again.
Yep.
He's putting that shit on that bicep, trying to C-clamp it and bring that leg in for a triangle.
Satish doing a great job staying tripoded up, moving around, not letting his opponent until that moment lock in a position.
So now, if I'm Danny, I'm going to look to try to get to my feet as soon as possible. The 5-minute round gives you a little bit more time to look for a submission, and it very well could get it, especially since you almost already had one. But I think causing the space and the motion to stand up gives you the ability to look for submissions and strikes and sweeps. But he may feel like that his submission game is just maybe a little bit better than Satish's. Satish came out with that sambo gi.
Right. And the striking and wrestling application seems to be applying well here right now.
He did a good job of securing that takedown. And the second time it went to the ground, which tells me that he's comfortable with it being on the ground.
Right.
So.
And after a play like this, perhaps he can use it to set up more of his striking in the later round should it come to that, or if they stand back up on their feet.
Yeah, and if you don't see a lot of action on the ground, the referee will stand you back up.
They're moving around a lot, but I'm not sure if it will be enough to keep them down where they are right now.
I'd like to see Danny step on the hip. That way he can get his hip out to the side and maybe look for a triangle. So he's doing a good job of using the knees to block like in a knee shield, but he may need to get an angle here so he can secure a submission. So to do that, he'll need to get an angle.
And great job defending as well, not allowing those big power shots to land when Satish is able to stand up to his feet.
This may be just enough, to keep them where they're at, but I would be surprised if in the later rounds that they didn't get stood up from the lack of actual striking and submissions. Ooh.
And it's not like they're not attempting. They're both just very good at countering each other's movements here.
But because there's no advancing or fight-ending scenarios,
Right.
sometimes that brings it to the ref. Just like if they were clinched on the fence, one person's clearly trying to normally get the takedown and it's not, the referee will still break that up.
That makes sense.
See Chris kind of clapping, letting them know, hey, guys, I need some action out of you guys or I'm going to stand it up.
Good pass from Satish there.
And sometimes that can give you a good sense of urgency. So Satish knows, like, okay, I need to advance. Just advancing to side control sometimes can be enough to allow the referee to continue to let it go on. Here's a knee bar attack.
Maybe a
heel hook.
Heel hook.
Oh, wow. And Satish came out in a sambo gi, and sambo is traditionally with leg locks. So, yeah, you can't kick the face. He's got the heel. Ooh.
Satish fighting it well.
He's got the heel. Oh, wow. Wow, I'm surprised that he's got the heel. Satish what he's doing was keeping his weight on it.
So he couldn't roll in.
So he couldn't get the leverage to turn. And now he's got the heel again. But it's in the crotch of the elbow instead of the crotch of the wrist. And you can see Chris Lieben looking at it a lot more serious once he saw where it was. Satish wants to keep his weight on the foot. Danny wants to kick him away. And now he's very vulnerable to getting that. You can see Satish trying to bail out. There's a knee bar attempt. Back into an inverted heel hook. Oh.
We got 15 more seconds.
Wow.
His arm in there might be helping him sustain it, though.
So
Boy, just
Good submission
swinging at each other.
that's not going to be enough to probably get Danny this round because he did get caught coming in. Whether it was a slip or a legitimate, drop.
Right. To start off with.
The judges don't know that.
Right.
Yeah.
And in boxing, they will judge a knockdown, a 10-8 round automatically. But, I mean, Danny was really close to that heel hook.
Yes.
And then what he did was you saw he tried to actually attack the knee by pushing it across and then it rolling. This is the first time Danny's ever went 5 minutes.
Seems to be doing fine. Satish definitely laser focused right there, we can see. This could play out like it did in that second fight where he repeatedly going for that heel hook will play out in Daniel's favor.
Well, I mean, leg locks, the thing with a twisting leg lock is it finds the weakest part of the leg. I've seen it break the fib and tib, tear the knees. I've seen even people jack up the metacarpal on the foot. So it's going to find whatever the most vulnerable part of the leg is and attack it.
That makes sense. Here we go for round 2.
Okay.
No glove touch again.
So Satish definitely has a good guard, but when the person keeps their hand that high, you want to punch their hand into their eye.
Well, that's an interesting tactic.
Yeah, it's more of like a Krav Maga. Satish got caught there, but was able to push Danny off balance. I feel like Satish is pretty strong.
Yeah.
Yes.
Strong punches.
You can
on
see
guy
that.
for sure. Strong punching power.
Again, managing to take his opponent to the ground.
Danny needs to recover a guard. You don't want to stay in half guard, really, in this position because it's difficult to advance and move. Satish has trapped Danny's arm. Danny needs to free that leg. What he's trying to do is butterfly guard there, elevate and make space. Satish keeps killing the arm with the knee. Most of the time, if you can put your body on top of your opponent's body, the friction alone allows you to feel anticipate their action.
Right.
Exactly.
And it prevents them from blocking.
And he's actually fishing in that leg now, thinking they could probably pass, but ended up getting himself in a guard.
Yeah, he may have been thinking about going to the far side for a bicep strangle there because his head was in the armpit, but the fence was there. Right now, Danny could step off the fence with his left leg and pivot into an armbar. That would be, yep, you see how he's stepping on the hip? So from the hip, then you step on the fence and you pivot your body and then you attack that arm. And he's had luck with the triangle, but the more slippery you get, the harder it is to really secure those triangles and those chokes, especially if your opponent is good enough to pull himself out of these positions.
We see him throwing up what almost looked like a rubber guard, getting his calves over the shoulders of his opponent.
You can see that he was coming in for that reap, but Satish was able to keep that crossface, and now he's in almost a half guard / Z guard. Satish has the underhook. You want to continue to scoot out. He's going into elevate with that butterfly, then secure full guard. Now he's got a body triangle, and that can drain your opponent too because you're increasing all the
Squeezing
pressure.
the air out of him.
Right.
Satish is doing a good job of anti-grappling, which we kind of talked about when we're a good wrestler and we can just stay. Oh,
Going
armbar!
for the armbar there.
Wow.
It looks like it's a bit of an off angle, though.
Yeah, but Satish isn't trying to rip out, and so that can allow Danny to, there you go. It can allow Danny to have angled into that.
Oh. Good play by both fighters there.
Man, and then what happens when you lose a position for a second in a fight, you need to gain it back. And what Satish did was once he ripped out, he threw a few punches to let the judges know, I'm in this fight. He's got the underhook. Man.
Satish, good pressure, upper body pressure, keeping his opponent pinned to the ground.
Yeah, I think he's fairly, you can see he's got some strength on him. And he's got a lot of experience. His amateur career, he had, I think, well over 9-10 fights.
Right.
And now Danny using that butterfly to kind of scoot his hip out. But I think I would rather be in a side control in this position or mount than guard because you want to be able to get out. So Satish is going for a Von Flue choke there. See how Danny has the neck. Satish is trying to drop. Oh, and now Danny has the guillotine. Oh, wow.
That's locked in.
Oh,
and
man.
the guard.
And so what Satish did was shoot his arm in there to try to nullify the choke. But if Danny goes to his left hip, he'll be able to compress Satish's. See, there's a trapped arm guillotine and there's a no-arm guillotine. The no-arm guillotine has things like Marcelo teens, fist chokes. Satish is trying to push on the legs. This is a sign of desperation. The body triangle right now, Satish's pants are coming down. That's how hard he's trying to get out of this choke.
He's refusing to surrender.
No, but we saw that earlier today in the first fight when they ended up going out from this position.
Right.
It doesn't happen quite right in the guillotine.
But you can change that to a fist choke or a prayer choke.
Yeah.
So Danny is cut right now, and you can see it over his eye. I wonder if that's a pre-existing cut that he already had. Satish now trying to work that cut with some elbows. Oh, good shots.
Both elbows are turning right back there.
That was a close one.
So we've seen this fight kind of go a little bit back and forth, but the control issue has been with Satish. So you have to think, if you're Danny in the corner, that you're down 2 rounds, and now you have to deal with a real cut. So you have to coagulate it. The doctor's probably gonna get called in to check it out. So there's many things that have to happen in this minute right now.
That's 2 rounds down out of 3. 1 more to go, assuming that cut is allowed to stay in play.
Well, and so you also have to understand that they're fighting on vinyl. So blood and sweat become very slippery in this scenario. And that might be to Danny's advantage. Oh, it looks like the cut is actually in the braids. It's not in the eye. The likelihood of them stopping that is a lot lower. I mean, because you're going to see the skull unless it's starting to rip open. That's good news. And what they'll do is they'll apply like epinephrine or adrenaline 1 by 1,000 and put it on the cut to coagulate it. And then most of the time, to keep it from bleeding out, they'll put the Vaseline on it. Satish feels like he's up too, and he's got that energy for it. And I think we're going to see Danny come with a sense of urgency. I mean, the cut, that's the best case.
It's a scar.
Yeah.
He had a scar with
He's
his
got a
eye.
scar for his left eye. And it looks like the cut might be center of his head there.
Yeah.
Which can happen from an elbow.
Final round.
So I think, if you're Danny, you want to keep it on your feet. You add some motion, and then you add those big shots in here. You try to keep the distance and then come in hard. Oh, man. Well, Danny really, he understands that he's down.
Solid left hand down the
Satish
middle.
is breathing with his mouth open. He's got to be careful. Oh, now Danny jumped on this guillotine, and this time it's in the right side instead of the left, and you can see it much more compressed.
Yep.
He's got a lot
Danny
of
needs to
attention.
bring up the legs. Danny, oh, there you go. Body triangle time.
Finish that.
Oh, no.
You can finish
Wow. This is great. This would be
you gotta
great for
finish
Danny.
that.
This is bad for Satish.
Satish looks like he's still okay there, though. Still finding a way to breathe. I think he's got himself in such a high position.
Well, that was very. He stayed calm, and I think that allowed Danny to relax. And he was like, "Oh, maybe I don't have it because he's not freaking
I
out."
think so, too. I think so, too. He probably didn't have it properly.
It's such a mental game.
Because you're not able to really create that pressure, the tension. You can't finish the guillotine.
Yeah.
Right. Satish showing a great amount of experience in terms of wisdom, fight wisdom for having just.
Well, he had over 10.
But that's what it is. Over those 10 amateur fights really adding up.
And also too, lactic acid. You know, this is the first time Danny's gone.
5 minutes.
Well,
and
the amateurs, you're only fighting 3 threes, which is 9 minutes. You've already exceeded that by 3 minutes.
Two rounds, you already got a minute more. Huh?
Yep. And now he's on that.
Another 6 minutes onto it.
That's the idea, I think, to have for the Camo State title to allow somebody to fight 3 5s. Satish did a great job of advancing position here. He's now stapled Danny's arm down. Danny's showing great willpower to get up from this position. He knows he's down, so he can't just sit there and lose a decision. And you see him attempting to get up, but Satish has far side wrist control with that left hand. You can see that's why Danny's not able to use his right hand to block. Danny uses it to turn around and back into the guillotine. But he doesn't have the hands connected.
Right.
So we've seen him attempt the armbar. I don't think Satish is going to put himself in a very vulnerable position, though. And I don't think Satish wants to stand up, so he's not going to back up and tell Danny to stand up. He's, I think, comfortable trying to win this decision now or get a stoppage.
Right.
Because he's definitely.
Well, Satish did more work, so you just got to ride it out to the end, right?
Yeah. But, I mean, also, too, it's not like he's just holding him. Satish is throwing effective strikes.
Keep working on him.
If Satish was holding him down, for sure Chris would stand them up. But the fact that you see him continuing to throw these strikes, very important for him to keep this position.
And Danny, to his credit, is still returning, albeit a little bit, and moving his hips, changing positions.
Yeah,
he's doing everything he can to stay in the fight, and he's.
Well, Danny's so dangerous.
He's right up against this corner right now.
Yeah, he can hear Franklin right there and Jay, and you can tell that he's listening. He's trying his very best. He knows he's still in the fight. The referee will stop the fight if he thinks that the guy cannot continue, or if he thinks that that he doesn't have a chance of winning. So I think a good example of that is Herb Dean when he was refereeing one of Sean O'Malley's fights he let the guy take so much damage, but then stopped it within 30 seconds.
There it is.
Oh, that's stoppage.
And this is because Chris Lieben doesn't feel that there was anything that Danny could have mounted in that last 45 seconds, minute, to get out of that situation.
Right.
Well, congratulations to Satish there, securing his first pro win.
And I respect Chris for doing that, because some guys, especially like old ex-fighters, they'll just let the person keep on taking the damage because they'll be like, well, he's got a chance.
Right.
But if you're like, well, he's not going to be able to get out of this position. Got an arm trap. You're in half guard. That's cool. I think Danny's going to learn a lot from this because now he's been, he was close to all 15 minutes. That was 14 minutes of the fight.
He did a great job. If he would have done a little bit of that execution of the guillotine, he could have finished the fight numerous times,
Yeah, and the question is, how do we improve that? Like,
exactly.
Having that right mentality, okay? Because
Working
we're
on
pros
that.
now.
Back to the drawing board.
Right. You can see Satish very excited about this. but also very tired.
Yes.
He's got a big old smile when he was laying down.
I don't even matter who you are. 15 minutes of fighting another grown man takes a lot out of you.
It's insanity.
Yeah, you've gone 9 now, right?
Huh?
You went 9?
I went 9 minutes, yeah.
And
I know.
well, we're sending it back to Jim, everyone. You can see the corners. Heather does a great job of matching, and Tony. Here we go, guys. Sending it back to Jim.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 4 minutes of round number 3, referee in charge Chris Lieben stops the contest due to strikes. Our winner by TKO, the blue corner, Satish Gowda!
Man, both of those guys look fatigued. We're going to get an interview now from Satish. He's got to feel amazing.
Absolutely.
I'm here with your winner, Satish Gowda. Over this side, sir. Come on over this way. Congratulations to you. How you feeling right now? Look at that camera right there. You deserve the props because you got to finish tonight, sir.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Well done. I have to say this. You looked excellent out there, even when he was putting every submission in the phone book at you. Composed, steady, and you were able to get the finish. What do you attribute that to, sir?
My big brown Indian balls. That's what's up. Hey, I don't give a fuck if you're the UFC champion of the world. If you're 135 pounds, I'm gonna take you the fuck down. Anybody, any place, any fucking time. Let's go! Viva Mexico, cabrones!
All right, Satish. I want you to take a look at your handiwork right up there. Talk us through your finish, sir.
Boom.
Hey, people thought I'm a grappler. Well, guess what? I'm a grappler who can strike. It's as simple as that. You think you can take me down? You probably can't. You think you can knock me out? You probably can't. If you don't fucking knock me the fuck out or choke me unconscious, I'm gonna come at you. I'm gonna keep fucking coming till you quit. I'm ready to fucking suffer, man.
That's one way to look at it, brother. Congratulations to you. Big ups to you and your team. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for Satish Gowda.
A very exhilarating post-fight interview there with Satish.
He definitely...
Strong word from Satish.
Well, I'll be definitely interested. He did his job to make us like wonder, okay, well, I would watch him fight again.
Yep, that's a good point. Very much so.